Well, hello there, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here with the latest episode of Hot Mic with SSJ. This is going to be a shorter episode. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of television with my good friend Todd Leabo. And then I will tease that next Monday, we are going to have a podcast that you absolutely, positively don't want to miss. It's going to be a very, very special podcast with a stunning announcement. That's called a cliffhanger, folks. And so next Monday, you better tell your friends to subscribe. You better say hello to your mother for me and tell her to subscribe to Hot Mic with SSJ on YouTube and be ready. Look, these are all good. The next Monday will be a podcast that Border Patrol and Hot Mic listeners will never, ever forget. And so write that down. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, as Hal McRae would say. Todd, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Welcome to the podcast. We have lots to talk about because I told you a couple of weeks ago, this is like one of the best times to be a TV watcher for all the shows that we like. They came back with the Ray Donovan movie to end that series. I'm still not sure how I feel about the direction they went. But it was good to tie up the loose ends for all the Donna fans out there, as we call ourselves, that love Ray Donovan. And so that's been put to bed now. We're watching 1883, which is the prequel to Yellowstone. And it's fucking awesome, especially if you love Westerns. And it stars Sam Elliott and Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. And there's also a terrific cameo, I can't remember what episode, but look for yourself, by Billy Bob Thornton. That I thought was fantastic.
And the world's most famous actor is in that same one.
Oh, that's right, Tom Hanks. And look, and for people wondering, well, Sam Elliott, he's really old, and so they're not going to have him doing things like they had him in, like, say, for instance, Roadhouse, right? No. I don't know. How old is Sam Elliott?
I don't know. He's still kicking ass.
He's fucking in this. He fucking kills people. He pistol whips people. He threatens to kill people.
He's no nonsense.
He's pissed off at all times.
When you're leading a wagon train from Fort Worth to parts unknown, Oregon, Utah, wherever you think you're going to go, you don't have time to fuck around.
So if you
especially with these, you watch the show with closed captioning. We're closed captioning guys. Sometimes
I have to with everything.
I love when it says it just says German and Slavic chattering.
Right.
It just says that when the people are behind.
Oh, he's just. I mean, fucking Sam Elliott will shoot you or punch you or do something to you.
You take these people's back bacon and sourdough.
Right.
Just whip your ass.
That's exactly right. And Tim Elliott's really good. Or Tim Elliott.
Tim
Elliott's a UFC fighter. Tim McGraw's really, really good.
Is Tim Elliott also the? No, it's Chris Elliott. Right. What if Chris Elliott were in the show?
He'd be fantastic.
He'd be the guy under the stairs.
He was good in Cabin Boy, I can tell you that. But no, I didn't know how much I was going to like it, but I thought I'd like it, but I love it.
Are they? How many years are they doing this?
Well, probably the ratings will tell us.
Yeah.
You know, but I
expect they will get to destination on this one.
Well, they ain't going to get to Oregon. We know that.
No, well, we know they're going to go to Montana.
Right.
Some people want to go to Oregon.
So it's really, really good. We suggest it. We recommend it. The other shows we're watching. So did you finish? Now, Ozark is in its final season. The final season is going to be split up into 2 7-episode packages. And so the first one
about halfway through
is
the first
done.
one.
Oh, so you don't know what happened?
Not all the way through. I'm not.
What the fuck? It's been out for like 2 weeks.
I got a lot of things I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm watching. I'm 3 through.
That's what we got to do.
I'm 3 through. I'll get that done by next week if that's what you want.
Or do you see? Here's the deal. So I know you don't like it very much.
No, I
because
like
it's taking you too long.
I like Ozark. I don't love Ozark, and the episodes are long. It's hard to like when you used to watch a show that's on regular television that's an hour long. It's 42 minutes long, right?
Right.
These shows that are on Netflix, I mean, they might be 58 minutes, 59 minutes or something. So it's a long binge.
Oh, yeah. I used to get so fucking pissed off with The Sopranos, and sometimes they'd sneak in like a 47-minute episode.
What the fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck?
What
There's
am I
13
paying
minutes
for?
left. And I'd be thinking, oh, they got all this time to tie these loose ends together. Then I would stop like, you son of a bitch, you just cheated me out of 13 minutes of quality television. But
Ozarks are long. I like Ozark. I don't love Ozark. I like it.
Walk outside.
I'm not
quick.
walking outside.
I have to say something
no,
about
you can say it. You're not gonna. I'm fine with any sport. Here's the deal. I think that like Marty's not gonna die. Okay.
Well, we know they have at the beginning of the episode 1, they have the car wreck, And here's the thing.
And that's probably going to be the end of the first 7 episodes?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
They never get back to it. So that's still just hanging out there. So I'm thinking that might be the end
of the whole thing.
Of the second thing. But I don't, who knows?
This is the end of the whole show, though.
But now, you're right. But now I'm mad because I don't want that to be the final thing in the last episode, in the next 7, right?
They can't do that.
And then, we don't know what happened.
They won't do that.
But I thought it was going to address that in these first 7, and it didn't. So do I say it now or not?
So hey, say whatever you want.
It'll ruin it for you.
I don't care to say it. This is for the people.
In episode 7, and if you haven't watched it, you better. I'm going to tell you this. Spoiler now. It's been a couple of weeks. So where? How many episodes are you in?
I've watched 3 of them. The FBI agent has already had the meeting with the Mexican cartel. The cousin or the nephew,
Omar Navarro,
thinks he's hot shit, and he's up there.
The nephew,
yeah.
The fucking nephew.
He's gonna die, right?
The fucking nephew has come to power.
Okay, is he gonna kill Omar?
And he fucking walked in to that fucking house, and he fucking shot Darlene in the fucking head, and then well, that's fine.
Yeah,
but then
she didn't kill Wyatt. He didn't kill Wyatt.
He looked at Wyatt, and he says, "I'm sorry, whoever you are."
Kill Wyatt too.
And I'm sitting there, and look, I love shows that don't give a fuck and that will kill characters off, because you don't want to watch a show like there's no way they're going to kill this character off. And I'm thinking there's no way they're going to kill Wyatt. And then at the end, and so we're stunned there. But then at the end, Ruth is on a fucking warpath. And the job that she did, Julia Garner, in the last episode when because she's the one that finds them.
Oh, they're dead bodies. And now she's on the warpath with this guy.
Well, I'm not going to spoil everything. They had planned on leaving. Mm-hmm. Her and Wyatt and the other cousin just getting out of there. And then I
think she got pulled back in.
And fucking Darlene fucking tells Wyatt that the state's going to take away the baby because she doesn't have someone to help watch her, because she had a heart attack or whatever. Right. Whatever. And so then at the last minute he tells this is kind of weird. He tells Ruth, I'm saying I'm going to marry Darlene.
Boy.
And they have a fucking wedding and they're fucking kissing, and Susan's like, what the fuck is going on here? I go, look, it's Ozark. Shit like this happens. And so then instead of leaving, he fucking stays to fucking do right by Darlene and this baby. And so then it gets him killed. Yeah. And at the end, and fucking Ruth is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's her beloved cousin.
You don't want Ruth against you there.
And so then that's how it ends, right?
Yeah.
And so and then Darlene had killed the fucking head of the Kansas City mob.
Oh, that guy's an idiot.
Right? And let me tell you something right now. Some great casting in Ozark. Whoever fucking thought this guy was going to be a good Kansas City crime boss, Frank Cosgrove, his son, Junior, is terrific. I know that guy. I spent time around that type of guest.
Yeah.
He was great casting. He's also in Power, but whatever. Whoever got this fucking sad sack motherfucker to be a kid with, I'm serious. Did he have anything?
No.
You know what I mean?
He looked like someone's second cousin who ended up coming to power because everyone died.
He had nothing. He had no. He was not no magnetism. What am I thinking of? He had nothing.
Charisma.
He had no juice. No charisma. No nothing. And I'm not telling you have to give it to a guy that we know. Like, of course, what do I automatically think of? You know who'd have been great? Fucking Ray Liotta. Make Ray Liotta the fucking pissed off Kansas City fucking crime boss, and I love it. There's a million guys they could have got. This guy was fucking terrible.
Yeah, he's milquetoast.
And you didn't fear him.
No fear.
You didn't, and so it was lost on me. But then he becomes
demise. I will finish it. I watched the third one.
He fucking killed Wyatt.
Yeah, that's what happens in these shows. A lot of people die in these shows.
And yes, Darlene needed to go.
Yeah, she's fucking crazy.
But I don't think I needed to see them make out before that.
Well,
there was a couple of make out scenes. There's a lot here, people.
That's acting. They were bringing it, is what they were doing.
Okay, so that's Ozark, and so you will finish it, even though I've just spoiled that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I like the show. I haven't. My wife doesn't watch it, so that's one of those things that I watch after she's gone to sleep, which is generally pretty early. But she doesn't she doesn't watch Euphoria. She doesn't like Reacher either.
What's wrong with any? What is
the drugs and the killing? She doesn't like those things. So we watch.
So what does she watch?
Comedy shows. She watches Righteous Gemstones.
There's a lot of killing in that.
Well, but it's comedy killing.
Okay, well,
yeah,
right. Okay.
And it's it's
Gotcha.
silly. And she liked Succession. She liked that.
And a lot of drug use in Succession.
Yeah, but it's not like Euphoria. Teenagers.
Nothing's like Euphoria.
Nothing is like Euphoria.
Okay, well, let's get to that. And of course, I would love to thank our good friend Patrick Carter, not to be confused with Clarence Carter. Patrick Carter is a wonderful farmers insurance agent. You can get more information about him at kcfarmersagent.com. That's kcfarmersagent.com. You could also text HOTMIC, HOTMIC, to the number 913-248-8861. Text HOTMIC to the number 913-248-8861 for more information. Choose a local agent that supports the same community you do and loves the same podcast you do, Hot Mic with SSJ. Choose Patrick Carter of Farmers Insurance. So
These last two
episode,
episodes are insane.
Yeah, but let's focus on last night in particular. So I have said before that I think, and I knew of Zendaya through my daughters, and she's a teen star and everything else.
Pop star or something, right? She's like 25 years old.
Right. But she's, and then she's in this, and she's in the most recent Spider-Man, a couple Spider-Mans. I lose track.
Call the Spider-Man?
A lot of fucking Spider-Mans out there. A lot of fucking movies.
And some of it's cartoons.
And like in this last movie, then all the fucking actors that played Spider-Man were on there. And I'm so fucking confused. I don't know which Spider-Man's which. I know Tobey Maguire was his starter. And so Rich, there's your Spider-Man. Phil Spider-Man's the fucking Andrew Garfield. Yeah. And then you got this Tom Holland, who my daughter's like. So, I've had my kids 6 years apart. And they all have a different Spider-Man. They're arguing who the best Spider-Man is. I go, I don't even know.
That's why they do this.
That's exactly fucking right. But, and Zendaya dates Tom Holland. They're a couple.
They're a couple.
Beautiful couple.
Yes.
But let me tell you something. And I don't throw this around because I'm an amateur film and movie critic, whatever. Last night on Euphoria, and Euphoria is not for everybody.
Mm-mm.
If you are queasy at all,
a long slate up at the beginning of it, basically telling you this ain't for you.
Ben, have you watched Euphoria? Okay. But Ben loves anything with graphic drug and sex. He'll
all of it.
Sign him up. But this thing is so graphic. The drug use, the sex, and the fact that it's supposedly happening in a high school, even though all these kids look like they're 25 years old.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But we've taken big steps because if you go back to Greece in 1978, they were all 40 years old going to high school. It's like, wait a minute, how old is Rizzo here?
She's like fucking look 42. Like high school.
Right.
They do a good job.
They do, but
they're old.
I'd like to think that they embellish, but it scares the fucking shit out of you, and especially if you have girls. Like, is this
what high school is?
Is this what the high school parties are? But anyway, the whole episode last night was dedicated to Zendaya going through withdrawal.
The whole thing's probably like 6 hours of her life, maybe.
And it's a whole night and into a day of her, everything she's doing to try to get more drugs, to try to get more money. And while she's doing this, she's suffering all the side effects from withdrawal. And she has it out with her family.
She's been on, at this point, opioids.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Everything.
Yes, lots of stuff.
She's taking everything.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. And recency bias, whatever, that is one of the greatest performances in any single episode that I've ever seen on TV. Because unfortunately, and not being real here, I have seen up close a few family members go through withdrawal. And I've seen this, right? It was so realistic and so raw and so real a couple of times. And my wife has too. Both my wife, her family is out there. My family's out there. So we were not shielded from these things when we were kids. And we both kept looking at each other. And this is so fucking realistic. It's almost too real. It's a little scary. But that's how great she was. And it's such a powerful episode.
She said some of the meanest, worst things you could ever say because she was in the throes of withdrawal.
Right, but even all the
wanting to get more. I think about the actual logistics of acting that out. You couldn't, like those scenes with her mom, you couldn't do like 20 takes of that. No fucking way.
It was unbelievably physical. Way. She had
just destroyed this
police
house.
Chased her on foot. She's jumping over things.
That was a very great police scene. And how about just like just landing on cactuses. I mean, it was just like that was kind of almost funny a little bit.
Oh, the one time she runs through, there's a barbecue going on, she just steps on the fucking grill that's fucking cooking.
Hot grill, falling on cactuses and shit like that, but it was just nuts.
I shit you not. It was one of the most stressful, anxiety-filled hours of television, but it was so, and her mom and her sister did a great, everyone did a great job.
Was great.
The acting of that is such at a high level. If she doesn't get recognized with an Emmy, and if that episode doesn't get recognized in some, I don't fucking know what they're giving an award. Fucking give her an Academy Award. I don't care if it's not a movie. That's how good that performance was.
Give her a Tony.
But right?
It was great. Did she win some sort of a thing for last time on this?
Ruth has a couple for supporting. I don't know. I don't think she did. But after this, she has to.
It was incredible.
She should.
It was crazy. Just the from the very beginning with the lies and the stealing and just breaking the house apart in front of her mom, and the things she said to her mom, and then to Jules, who was there.
The desperation that she had. Anyone that has ever been involved, and again, serious note here.
She just kept slipping through the fingers of anyone trying to contain her.
Anyone that has ever been involved with a loved one battling abuse and going through withdrawal, and you have an intervention, right? It was so fucking real, especially the scene when she's in the hallway and then all of a sudden she goes from being crazy and ripping stuff apart and threatening everyone to, I'm sorry, this is my fault. Please forgive me. I do need to go to rehab. But what did you do with my pills? What did you do with my fucking pills? And then she goes, and it's
she's
like,
gone. Ran out in the streets. They got her in the car, and then she just jumped out of the car in traffic. Twice she ran through traffic. Could have gotten run over.
That fucking thing gave me nightmares. It was filled with anxiety.
And it's the bottom of the barrel when you go to see your drug dealer who loves you and is very nice to you, and he just like, you can't be here.
And he fucking kicks her out.
Just kicks her out, and then she ends up at the retired teacher who's the
drug lord of this neighborhood. Her name's Lori. And I told you, what did I tell you?
Scary.
That's the scariest fucking character in that fucking show.
She managed to jump out. The way they shot this thing was just incredible. She had to do a lot of very physical things because, I watched it pretty closely. That was her jumping off balconies and jumping over fences.
And it never really changed the story. It kept with it, and it was exhausting to watch. But again, it was so powerful.
And when you're in this, now listen, I've never been through withdrawals. I've never been addicted to anything except for like watching sports and stuff like that. So I'm very blessed that way. But she will say and do anything to get out of whatever situation. They end up going to the girl's house where everyone was just hanging out. And there's been this tension-filled 4 weeks of this one girl, Cassie, cheating with this boy who was the ex-boyfriend of Maddie
Perez.
And by the way, last week was insane when it was all led to one of them puking in a hot tub, which is disgusting. Yeah. Whatever. And they're all just there.
Do you hear us when people hear us talk? Do people want to see this show, or do they wonder why are they watching this fucking show?
I don't know why. Because one of the things that I think when you watch shows, you want someone to root for and someone who is a good person. And I think probably you root for Rue in this show because you do.
It's hard to, yeah.
It's hard, especially it's hard after you see all the shit she does here. But it's not.
I root for Fez. I don't know why, but I do. I really root for Fez.
Like when you watch Succession, there's no one likable.
No,
they're all awful. You're not rooting for them.
Not even Comfrey.
No, not even Comfrey. But so you're rooting for someone here because they're sympathetic, and I think Rue is very sympathetic. Her father died. It put her into the throes of whatever. But then the shit she says to her mother.
But she's so manipulative.
And then she gets in this situation.
But that's what it is.
And they're all like, God, you don't look good. And she's just sweating. And she needs to shit so bad because that's apparently part of withdrawals from opioids.
She keeps yawning over and over again.
She's just falling asleep and she needs to take a shit. She can't even run without pinching her butt together because she thinks she's going to crap her pants or whatever. And she gets there.
It's like Nate during the morning show.
It is. He's like, are we getting to a break?
Right.
And then they get there and then she's just like, how long have you been fucking Nate? Not you, Katie.
Whoa. Never.
And then this Maddie girl's just like, what? And it turned, and so she just took the whole focus off of her and put it on them. And then, of course, she just runs out in the streets again. And she avoided.
Oh, she gives zero shits about anything.
Just gone.
She just wants to
it's incredible.
Get her next
Then
fix.
she ended up very end looking like she was going to get locked up and trafficked. That's what it felt like, right? Because the crazy Lori shot her arm full of morphine and
Oh, it was so that she gets out of there, and so at the end, you see her mom sitting at the kitchen table, dining room table, and the door opens. Do you think she went home? Was that her?
I hope so.
Yeah, but you don't know.
You don't know.
And so it's look, hey, I'm not gonna sit here and recommend you to watch Euphoria because you might watch it and you think, what, St. John, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. But it's very raw, but it's so powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
And I mean, you could probably watch that episode last night and just see an example of drug abuse and addiction that I think is very few times I've seen it more accurately portrayed in a TV show or
I'll
a movie
tell you
than what I
this.
saw last night.
They don't make it look glamorous and awesome, which I think is the part that's best for it, okay? Because it makes, like, I've got a 22-year-old daughter who went through high school. Your kids are about to be in the high school in a couple of years.
Well, the girls, the boys will
that's
do it.
how it's going to be. And especially with the girls, it's scary. But I don't think this is something your 13-year-old kids should watch.
No.
But I think it is certainly something that I don't think it would make me want to do the kind of drugs that they're doing in this show. So I think it's probably a very cautionary tale of that. So I think it's got that redeeming kind of quality about it because I think no one appears to be happy doing what they're doing.
No. And so...
Because I think a lot of times hard drugs can be kind of glorified.
Well, yeah.
Whatever. Everything's just a great time.
It's not glorified in this fucking show.
It is raw and gritty, and it shows you how it'll just totally fuck your life up. Because there ain't nobody happy in this show.
All right, so something else that's new that came out on Friday on Amazon Prime.
And you binged this whole thing already.
Fucking done.
Whole
I tried. It was it's only fucking 8 episodes.
That's 8 hours.
We stayed up till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
You went to a movie, and then you did this, and you had a birthday party.
I had a great weekend.
Sounds like someone didn't watch fucking Pro Bowl.
I did not. I had a great fucking weekend. Friday night, I took my dad and my boys to go see Jackass Forever. And fucking my dad was laughing.
Did you get in the 4:30 show? What did you see?
6:30.
6:30. That worked for
Liberty.
Steve Senior.
You know, because I originally told him 7:45.
Too late.
He goes kind of late for a show to start. I go, it's
kind of standard,
very reasonable.
Yeah, that means you could go have a meal then do this.
And my dad won't say it. I just whatever. I'm fine with it. I said, how's 6:30? So, okay,
that sounds better.
Right. And so we got there early. Got our popcorn, reclining seats. I know people hate Jackass or whatever, but for an hour and a half, all 4 of us laughed our asses off. And so if that's what you're looking for, I mean...
So did you start Reacher Friday night or Saturday morning?
So Reacher...
You didn't get home and watch 4 Reachers Friday night at midnight.
Why not?
How many did you watch?
2.
Okay, that's reasonable.
2.
Because the movie was at 6:30. You were home by like before 10.
That's right. And then Saturday... we had a girls' basketball game that I helped coach, and then we were responsible for concession duty. So I worked I worked concessions.
Yes.
At St. Gabe's, and we got home, and so we had our Saturday night free.
Yeah.
And I think we probably put away another 3 or 4.
And you finished before the birthday party.
And then we finished. We watched one Sunday morning. It sounds bad the way I'm laying this out here. And then we finished it. It's only 8 episodes, like 43 minutes long.
Yeah, they're not.
Let me tell you something. Plus. It's fucking great.
It's great. I've watched one.
And we both have read some of the books. And people got pissed off when Tom Cruise was cast as Jack Reacher for the movie because he doesn't fit the bill of what Jack Reacher's supposed to be.
Jack Reacher's supposed to be imposing. Like, you look at Jack Reacher and you're like, I'm not going to fuck with this guy. And they had to try to manipulate, like, they had Tom Cruise, I think, standing on fucking phone books or something. This guy's a big guy now. He's not 6'5" in real life.
No, he's 6'2".
He's 6'2". He's a big dude. And in Hollywood, that's a big guy.
I don't know, and I'm sorry, I don't know who this motherfucker was. Alan Ritchson. But let me tell you something. I love him now. And so I looked up. You know, he is in two in 2 movies. He played Raphael in 2 of the Teenage Mutant
Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Which you're always masked in that, right?
But still.
And then he was in some other...
He was in a Hunger Games movie.
Yes, he must have been a background kind of guy in Hunger Games.
He was. So there's not a whole lot to go on here with this guy. But let me tell you something.
He's
a star.
I looked him up, and I don't remember him in this, but I love the show Workaholics because
Right.
I'm a kid at heart, and he was in an episode of Workaholics where they had Durs had to go back to a swim meet in high school or something like that because they had a bunch of buff guys in the fucking show, and this guy is, I mean, he is put together. He is like fucking ripped. So
You love it.
your wife, whatever,
Yeah.
took a shirt off 5 times in the first episode, right? He was just
Sounds like you're the one that's keeping tabs of this shit.
Nah, just
That's fine.
saying.
No, let me tell you, he's fantastic.
He's imposing.
It is somewhat reminiscent of the Stallone, Schwarzenegger action movies in the 80s.
There's
where
one-liners.
There's some
Yes.
humor there, and you know that like he's clearly gonna fucking kill or kick someone's ass or whatever whenever he wants. There's a little bit of a love interest there.
He's got a particular set of skills. Like he'll kick your ass, but he also is very perceptive.
Right.
Like he'll diagnose
Right.
you by looking at you for like 20 seconds.
They're looking at a dead body, and the guy goes, "Well, I couldn't get fingerprints because the tips of his fingers were swollen." And so then you fucking Jack Reacher looks and goes, "Well, that's because this person was allergic to latex, and the killer clearly had latex gloves on. And when they were struggling, they reached to touch the latex, and that's why the fingertips are swollen." And blah blah. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" You know?
It's good.
He's brilliant and all this stuff. But let me tell you something. I don't have the self-control you do. You watch 1 or 2 episodes, you can fucking binge watch this thing and you're going to love it.
Well, what I wanted
Reacher
to do
is fantastic.
I
on
heard
Amazon.
Saturday night, I was over at some friend's house, and they said they've been watching it. So I'm going to try to watch some. So then Sunday, we were busy. We had to do some stuff on Sunday. So I was out and about, driving around and going to see my son and dropping a car off and doing stuff. So then Sunday evening, I watched one, and we had to eat dinner. And then it was like I had to watch Euphoria and all that stuff. So I didn't have time to binge. So I will probably have it done this week because I really enjoyed it. But then I was pretty tired last night, so I wasn't going to stay up till like,
Quit fucking complaining.
just saying. So I watched one night, but now I got some things I got to watch tonight. I didn't get 1883 watched last night, and we're going to watch Gemstones. So this week, I will have Reacher done. And probably Ozark too.
So one of the actors that plays one of the main antagonists in Reacher is Bruce McGill. And Bruce McGill was a frequent player at the American Century Golf Championship in Tahoe. And I sat down to interview him a couple of times. And let me tell you something. Bruce McGill, I think, has been in every fucking movie that's ever been made in the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. He's in everything. And you're wondering who Bruce McGill is. He was in Animal House as D-Day, right?
Yes.
And sometimes when a guy is in a movie like that, it's so long ago, and he doesn't want to be known, he doesn't want to be D-Day. He has an unbelievable resume,
Which
right?
one of those? Then he was on one of those Law and Orders or something like that for like 15
He's
years.
been on. But I interviewed him and I asked him about D-Day, and he sat down and he told me all these stories about the filming of Animal House, what it was like to be around John Belushi, and tell me all the times that they partied basically throughout the entire filming. And he gave me these great descriptions of like, what you would imagine when John Belushi would walk into a room, all the eyes are on him, and he was all this charisma, and he could make anyone laugh, and how devastated he was when he passed away. And so Bruce McGill is one of my favorite actors. But this son of a bitch, you listen to all these movies that he's been in over the years, going back to Tough Enough, Silkwood. He was on Miami Vice. He was in remember the movie Wildcats with Goldie Hawn?
Yes.
He was the opposing coach. Club Paradise, The Secret of My Success. You can go on 166 movies. He has been in so many.
He wasn't on that
movies.
TV show. I was thinking about another guy.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No,
do
it
you?
was the dude from Full Metal Jacket was on one of those shows for like 10 years.
The Last Boy Scout. Remember when Bruce Willis shows up at his
Yes.
ex-wife's or his wife's, and he's hiding in the fucking closet, and Bruce Willis takes him out in front of the house. And he goes, head or gut. He's gonna punch him in the head or the gut.
This is your choice, right?
He was the sheriff in My Cousin Vinny.
My Cousin Vinny, yes, he was great in that.
He was in Quantum Leap. He was in Cliffhanger. You go up and down. This guy has been in more great. He was in fucking Time Cop, and I love Time Cop.
Lincoln even.
The Cinderella Man. But and he's done everything. He was in Black Sheep with Chris Farley.
Yes.
So you go up and down and so you know it's fucking good. When there was a time like in the 80s, if you had Dabney Coleman in your movie, you got a blockbuster.
He's
you got a
in
great
there.
movie on your hands.
He a little part, big part, whatever.
If you have Bruce McGill in your movie, I will watch it. And so, but this is a TV show, Reacher, so he plays one of the villains in it. So that'll make it worthwhile. But I love it. It's gonna come back because they've set it up to where he just kind of, he goes from town to town solving mysteries.
As long as this thing goes.
If you like the Jack Reacher books, if you like action, if you like those kind of movies or TV shows, Reacher is fucking.
It's kind of what they did
it.
on Amazon with Jack Ryan.
And I like that too.
The Tom Clancy character, and they did all those. I was a little miscast. I like John Krasinski's fine, but
I didn't think I was going to like it, but I thought it was really good.
I can't get him being Jim from The Office.
But Wendell
He's just
Pierce
not a
was
tough
good.
Guy, in the thing. But so that's the same idea that Amazon sent. They've been trying to do this for a while with this character, and they finally found the right person.
I thought they nailed
to
it.
do it. Now I told you to watch this,
and you
haven't done it
by
yet.
the way, there's Bruce McGill. In case I just fucked that up. Now go ahead and tell me. I'm sorry.
There's this thing that I found on Netflix. Yeah, that guy.
There's Bruce McGill. So if you don't know who Bruce McGill is,
he's him.
He's in every movie that you've ever seen in your life.
Can you do the thing that you did on the stairs and
Right.
Yeah, D-Day. So I was listening to some podcast about something, and there's this guy who you've seen memes of and stuff. His name's Tim Robinson.
Right.
He's this dude who was on SNL for like 6 seconds, and he was a writer on there, and he's done some weird kind of shows. I watched this show called The Detroiters that was on Comedy Central a few years ago, where it was this show where he was this one of his best friends in the world. Like, that's what a podcast I was listening to, on Veep, Richard Splett. Anyway, they did this show called Detroiters together, and they were talking about this show. It's called I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
And what's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
They're 16-minute episodes, and each episode has like 4 sketches. And these sketches are so fucking dark and subversive.
So I like it.
Oh, Jesus.
Is it bad?
It's just awful.
Well, Susan like it? Well, she's got the same sense of humor.
Yes.
She's got a darker sense of humor than I do.
So I'm sitting there laughing out loud, and my wife thinks I'm insane. Because
probably fucking right.
You like the Eric Andre show, right?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I watch that all the time.
This has a very
Eric Andre was in Jackass.
Eric Andre
He's in Gemstones.
feel to it.
Oh, does it?
Now, not the interview part really, but the part where they go out in the streets and they just make some weird shit up. This thing, I can't even begin to explain how ridiculous it is, but it's called I Think You Should Leave.
I'll watch it.
By Tim Robinson. There's 2 years of it, but there's only 10 episodes. And like I said, they're 15 to 17 minutes. And each episode is like 4 weird-ass skits that are just so cringy. I'll just kind of explain. I'll explain one of them.
Let's fucking say it.
Like they're just on this tour of a ghost house,
right?
And there's all these people. And they go, it's a 10 o'clock, tour of the ghost house. It's adults only, no kids. You can say whatever the hell you want. And this guy, this Tim Robinson, just in the back, and he just goes jizz. And like the people are like, what are you talking about? He's like, cum shot, jizz. And it's like, because he's like,
well, you making Ben laugh, so it's good.
You can just say whatever you want, and everyone's looking at him like, what's
kind of like this podcast in a way.
It's like, what are you talking about? He just starts saying the most vulgar things just because you can.
Yeah, I like it.
And eventually, the tour guy takes him out of the room and says, "Hey, man, you can't do this. You're making this the worst day of my life. Whatever, da da da." And then they come back out, and then he says it. He says the same things in a very calm manner. And he's just crying when he says it. And you're like, why are you doing this? It's just, and then he goes outside. I'm not going to tell you the end of it. The end of it's just hilarious. But
I'll watch it.
It's just fucking weird.
Okay.
Weird.
Last thing we're going to talk about before this abbreviated episode of Hot Mic. Last week, I was lucky enough to go see Elton John in his final concert
Yellow Brick Road.
in Kansas City, part of his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour.
I think I was the only person not there because all I saw on Facebook was pictures of neighbors and friends posting pictures from there.
This is one of the, and I had maybe lowered expectations, okay? Because you never know. He's 74 years old. Mm-hmm. You don't know. It's going to be good because of his catalog of hits. And if you love Elton John music, it's still good. And just to be there, right? It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was so fucking good. He had 3 drummers, and just the band was, and some people don't care about the band. I care about the band. My son's a musician, and I'm watching. I was geeking out. The band was fantastic. One guy that was there has been with him through all, even when he had made his American debut at the Troubadour. He's still with him, and that was cool. But the stage and the layout and the giant fucking IMAX screen behind the stage, every song had its own theme, like video that was real trippy. So if you do, dabble in acid, that would have been the place to be. That sounds like a weird thing to say, but don't worry about that. But I'm telling you, it was mesmerizing. The stage by itself was mesmerizing.
I heard it was a little bit like going to a Cowboys game where you don't watch the game, you watch the screen.
Right, but he wasn't always on there.
Screen?
There was like these weird videos of all, but then just people dancing. It was amazing. It was a spectacle. It was amazing. And so I was running down some of the set list, right? Starts out Benny and the Jets. I mean, just listen to these fucking hits, people. Philadelphia Freedom. I guess that's why they call it the blues. Border Song, Tiny Dancer, Have Mercy on the Criminal, Rocket Man, and I think it's going to be a long fucking time before he comes back. That's why I say he ain't never coming back. Take Me to the Pilot, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Levon, Candle in the Wind, Funeral for a Friend, Burn Down the Mission. Then we get into, he closes with Sad Song, Say So Much, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, The Bitch is Back. I like saying, The Bitch is Back. I'm Still Standing, Crocodile Rock, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, has an encore, comes back, Cold Heart, Your Song, and then Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And the best part was, and one of the cool things about the stage, his piano, which is like a vehicle, would go to this side of the stage and turn around. It's like driving a little boat or something. He'd go to that side of the stage, so we're over on here. He comes over to our side of the stage, and he starts off, and he did a great job. He talked to the audience quite a bit, and he said, I'm not sure the dates are correct, but he said, the first time I played here in Kansas City was November 2nd, 1972. And now this is my last show here tonight. The most memorable time in Kansas City was I was playing here when you guys won the World Series with George Brett, and you kept me up all night celebrating. And George Brett.
Yeah.
And so he goes through all. He goes, America, coming to America made me a star. That's what made me. You guys made me. Thank you so much for everything you've done. And thank you for coming to see me. Oh, and so you're getting a little fucking teary-eyed. And so he starts playing
LSD you doing.
Well, that's exactly. He starts playing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And then on the big video board, it starts with pictures of him as a baby and as a child. And then it goes through everything, all the great moments in his career. To him, he's performing on stage with Lennon and with with David Bowie, and there's him with Freddie Mercury. All these unbelievable stars of music and all the great moments and all the outfits he's worn over the years. And while this is all playing, he's singing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And this is the last song he's ever going to play in Kansas City. And then this lift comes out of the stage, and you have to fucking see it to believe it. It's so crazy. He gets on this, and he turns around, and it starts to lift him up the ramp to the base of the big giant screen, and he's waving at everyone, and then the lift disappears into the screen, right? And before that, he had come out for his encore in a big red velvet robe. And right before he goes on that lift, after he finishes Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, he takes the robe off, and he's got like that baseball jacket he was known for, in sparkles in the back,
jacket, yeah.
And it says his name in bling, Elton John on the back. And so you see that's what he's wearing. He goes into the screen, and then the screen, all it says is Elton John in the sparkles, and then it starts to move forward, and you see it's him. It's the back of his jacket, and he's walking, and then it turns into the Yellow Brick Road, and he's walking away down the Yellow Brick Road, and then he walks into the sunset.
Crazy. And
people were fucking crying, and I'm like, I'm getting teared up. It's almost like he died. Like, wow, we'll bring back Elton John. But it was one of the greatest endings to a concert. The production value, the catalog of hits, all the
shows are
special
just
effects.
Next level now, man. They're crazy.
But this was fucking great. And he was great.
I wish I'd
He
gone.
was great. His voice was great. I don't want anyone to talk bad about it. He was fucking fantastic. So that's all.
Great.
What's your bucket list now? We'll end it with this. Tell me right now one person, because I'd seen him with Billy Joel, but I had never seen him on his own. So that was a bucket list. What bucket list do you have right now? If I told you, you can see one person you have not seen.
Jake's not here. I'd like to see Paul McCartney. Faker live, dead. I don't
wouldn't
know.
you?
I've never seen him. I saw Elton John in 1982.
So you'd like to see
concert
Paul
I ever saw.
McCartney.
I'd like to see Paul McCartney. And I don't know if he's going to come back around here. I saw the Rolling Stones like 6-7 years ago, and I thought they're going to suck because they're old. They were fucking great. And
I got to think what mine is.
I think I would like to see, because I haven't seen Paul McCartney, and because I love the Beatles. Faker, Paul or Fall? I don't know. I'd like to see that. So I think I would like to see that.
I'm going to have to think about that. I asked myself that same question. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
For a long time, because I never saw Tom Petty, because just didn't work. And
I saw Petty a couple times.
Well,
It's
fuck
great.
you.
Yeah.
You need to throw that in my face. Yeah. Todd, thank you so much for talking about what we're watching.
I will have the shows watched.
I doubt that you will.
I'm going to get Reacher done for sure.
What? So
next week.
Is that your priority, Reacher
Yeah,
or
over
Ozark? It
Ozark.
sounds like you don't want to watch Ozark.
I do. I will. I will watch.
It sounds like you were happy Wyatt got shot in the head.
No, I'm not happy. I'll get there. I'd like to see that happen. So
You want to see that happen or them make out first?
I want to see Darlene happen.
A wonderful
I'll shuttle
wet kiss.
through that.
For this weird fucking episode. And remember, next Monday, you cannot miss this episode.
Hot.
You will remember it. I promise you will remember it forever. If you're a fan of this podcast and a fan of the Border Patrol, it will be an episode you never forget next Monday. Until then, the microphone is off.